Hello everyone. Now let's talk about the president, which is the part of a union executive. After the DPSP part 4 of the constitution, central government, which is the central part, which is also a federal part of our government, which consists of president, vice president, prime minister, council of minister, cabinet minister, committee, parliament, parliamentary committee, parliamentary forum, parliamentary group, Supreme Court, judicial review, judicial activism, public interest litigation. So these are the part of the central government. Now let's move ahead about the details of the president. President, if you see, president is one of the very important part of our Indian constitution, which is also important in the context of the UPSC civil services syllabus also. So president basically is a part of a union executive. It is a part of a union executive. Okay, all right, yes. And union executive consists of prime minister, president, vice president, comptroller, auditor general of India. DPSP is under 36 to 51, and president is under part 5, which is under article 52 to 78, President is also the head of the state, and another is the head of the government, which is the prime minister. And president is the first citizen of the country, irrespective of the gender, which is currently the president of India is the Srimati Draupadi Murmu. And president acts as a unity, integrity, and solidarity of the nation. Well, president, not only just that, but president, if we see, there is a very important section that president election. Now, president, inside the president election, there are electoral college. So electoral college consists of elected member of the both the house of the parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, only the elected, not the nominated, and the elected member of the legislative assembly of the states. And last is the elected member of the legislative assemblies of the union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. Union territory of Delhi and Puducherry. Well, when we see this, there is no nominated member in the electoral college. No nominated members included in the electoral college of the election of the president. And elected member of the houses includes MP, minister, PM, and in the state MPs, CM, MLAs, ministers, right? And nature of the election. Now let's see. Nature of the election is nature of election is system of proportional representation. It is a system of proportional representation. I will tell you about this later on in another section of the video. System of proportional representation by the means of single transferable vote, and voting is done by the secret ballot. Okay, voting is done by the secret ballot by providing a one paper in which the name of the candidate is given according to the preferences. Now in this case, candidate need to secure the fixed quota of vote, and this quota is formula for the quota is the total number of the valid vote polled divided by the number of posts of the president, which is 1, and plus 1, and which is at a quotient of 1. Moving ahead, the doubts and disputes relating to the election of the president is inquired, and which is inquired and decided by the Supreme Court, which shall be the binding and final. Now let's talk about the value of the vote. What is the value of the vote of the each elector who subscribes? Value of the vote for the state legislative assembly. Value of the vote of the MLA is equals to the total population of the state to the total number of elected member. Total population of the state to the total number of the elected member of the state legislative assembly multiplied by 1 by 1000. Okay, and for both the house of the parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, value of the vote of MP is equals to the total value of the votes of all MLAs of all states to the total number of elected members of parliament. All right, I hope this is clear at this point. Now, what is the qualification for the president? President has to be the citizen of India. Second, he must have completed 35 years of age and he should be qualified for the election as a member of the Lok Sabha lower house. And last, he should not hold any office of profit. Okay, he should not hold any office of profit. That is, these are the 4 qualification which is prerequisite for the for a member to be elected as the president. So now moving ahead, let's now talk about the term oath. Okay, so the president has to take the allegiance, and he has to take the allegiance to faithfully execute the office, to preserve, protect and defend the constitution, to devote himself to the service and well-being of the people of the India. So this is about the oath. Now, what is the term? The term of the president is 5 year. We all know this. Recently also the election for the president was done. And now, what is the vacancy? How is the vacancy is created? Vacancy is created on the 4 condition: either on the expiry of the tenure of the president, second by giving the resignation, third by the removal by the impeachment. Impeachment means for violation of constitution, on the ground of violation of the constitution, and which can be initiated by the either house, Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha. And it has to be signed by the 1/4 member of the house, which must be passed by the majority of 2/3 of the total membership. Okay, and last one is by the death. Vacancies created by the death. Now moving ahead, now let's study about the power and the functions. Power and the functions of the president is divided into various heads: executive, legislative, financial, judicial, diplomatic and the military. Executive powers of the presidents are all the actions of the government are taken in his or her name, and can make rules relating to the administration of the country, government. He can make rules for the convenient transaction of the business of the government. He appoints prime minister, he appoints auditor general, attorney general of India, he appoints the comptroller and auditor general of India, election commissioner, UPSC chairman. He appoints the commission to investigate the condition of the ST, SC and OBC. He appoints the interested council. He declares area as scheduled area and tribal areas. Now the legislative power. Legislative power consists of: president can summon or prorogue the parliament. President can dissolve Lok Sabha but not the Rajya Sabha. All right. He can address the parliament at the first session after the first general election and the first session of the year. He can send messages to the house relating to the bill pending. He appoints the member of Lok Sabha to preside. He nominates the 12 members of the Lok Sabha also. 12 members nominates 12 member of Lok Sabha, 12 member of Rajya Sabha, and having special knowledge in its jurisdiction, he nominates 2 other members to the Lok Sabha from Anglo-Indian community, and president decides on the question of disqualification of member of parliament, MP, right? And now, okay, so in the financial parts of the president, money bill needs an introduction, needs to be introduced, which is introduced in the house, needs a prior recommendation. And another is that the president causes the annual financial statement, which is the budget financial statement. Before the budget, financial statement is laid before the house to be to the parliament, and no demand for grants can be made except on the recommendation of the president. So if in order to give grants to any state, president needs to give the recommendation. So another is he can also make advances out of the contingency fund of India, right? There are 2 funds in India: consolidated fund of India and contingency fund. So for the contingency fund of India, president can make the advances out of it. He constitutes the finance commission. He constitutes the finance commission to distribute the revenue between the center and the state. So these are the financial power of the president. Now let's move ahead with the judicial power. President appoints the Chief Justice of India and High Court judges, and president seeks advice from the Supreme Court on the matter relating to the law, and he can also grant pardon, respite, reprieve and remissions to the convicted person. Talking about the military, he is the supreme commander of defense. President is the supreme commander of the defense. Now about the diplomatic powers, he president all the international treaties and agreements are negotiated and concluded on behalf of the president. So any diplomatic relations, any documents needs to be negotiated on the behalf of the president. Now moving to the emergency powers. President also has a special power, that is emergency power, which includes national emergency, president rule, and financial statement. National emergency is under Article 352. President is under Article 356 and 365, and financial is 360. Right. So these are the three emergency power which is exercised, which can be enjoyed by the president. And another is there is a veto power of the president. Right. Veto power is what? Veto power is basically an additional extensive power of the president. Right. Okay. Just let me put this below. Now, okay, fine. Okay, so when the government introduces a bill in the house, it goes to the president for the approval. So in that case, when it goes to the president has following options: giving assent to the bill, withhold the bill, return the bill for the reconsideration of the house. When even after the reconsideration, if the bill is passed, then in that case, president has to give the assent. Now, talking of the veto power, which is enjoyed by the executive, veto power consists of absolute veto, which is withhold the assent to the bill. Absolute veto means withhold the assent to the bill passed by the parliament. This is the absolute veto. Absolute veto means withhold the assent. Qualified veto, another is qualified veto, suspensive veto, and pocket veto. Now, pocket veto is which keeps the bill pending. It just only keeps the bill pending in the president, and it does not give assent. Neither it returns the bill to the house, nor it rejects. It just keeps the bill pending. That is a pocket, means you have to keep it inside the pocket. Nothing, you are not going to take any, and nothing going to give an action to the bill. Next is suspensive veto. Suspensive veto is in the suspensive veto, it returns the bill for the reconsideration of the house. And one special case is that money bill cannot be written. It has to be passed, but assent has to be given by the president. Having said that, now let's see about the ordinance making power of the president. Article 123 empowers the president to promulgate the ordinance during the recess of the parliament. Okay, and this ordinance has the same force and effect as the act of the parliament. Now, why ordinance making power is given to the president? Ordinance making power of the president is given to deal with an unforeseen or the urgent situation, matter, subject to following limitations, can promulgate when both the house not in session. Clause when he is satisfied, rendered is necessary. Ordinance must be laid before parliament when reassembles. Now, pardoning power of the president. So what is the pardoning power of the president? Pardoning means pardoning the conviction. Okay, so it deals under the Article 72, empowers the president to grant pardons to the person who have been tried and convicted by the court of law. Okay, so what are the various pardoning power of the president? What is the various pardoning power of the president? Now, okay, now what are the cases in which pardoning is given? Cases are punishment or sentence, and this punishment sentences by the court martial, which is by the military court, and sentence of the death. Okay, pardoning power of the presidents are pardon, commutation, remission, respite, and the reprieve. Okay, so these are the 5 pardoning power of the president. Now let's see each one of it. What is it? Okay, pardon means remove both sentence and conviction. Okay, pardon means remove both sentence and conviction. Commutation means substitution of one form of punishment by the lesser form of the lighter form of the punishment. Remission means reduction of the period of sentence. Respite means awarding lesser sentence in place of the original sentence awarded. Last is reprieve. Reprieve is basically to stay on execution of sentence for temporary period. And with this we end our video. We have discussed about the president, detailed constitutional provision, constitutional power of the president, and etc. All the details, electoral college, qualification, oath, pardoning power, ordinance making power, everything we have discussed. So this is about the president. I hope this is clear, and I'll see you on the next video. Keep studying, and all the best. Thank you.